hear yourself pretty good though? You feel good?
Yeah, I'm
you feel
fine.
okay? Okay? Yeah.
Yep, I'm good.
What do you think about these mics?
I don't know. I like it and then I don't like it.
Why?
Because I talk with my hands.
God, you're just...
I know, I'm sorry. I didn't eat dinner, I told you. Because your kid had a blowout.
She had poop everywhere, bro.
She had poop all up on her back. And then I'm going to look at how I look because you don't tell me how I look. And then if I look ratchet.
Because I always think you look perfect.
Whatever.
Man. You are
And then I'm like, why didn't you tell me I look
all of your ways
like trash?
You don't. And the reason why she's wearing sunglasses is because it's always
I'm a
sunny.
diva.
It's always sunny when you're cool.
I'm a diva.
No, she has sty.
Diva. I have sty. The way you say it.
She has sty.
She has sty.
So her eye is completely shut.
It's not completely shut.
And it's...
You're very dramatic.
I'm not even going to say the next part.
What were you going to say?
I'm going to say we were already shopping for glass eyes to replace your eyeball.
I mean, at this point,
we had the deepest conversation about this. I was so serious
sty?
and actively, as we were laying in bed, we have deep conversations in bed. Not in a sexual way. It sounded weird, huh?
A little bit.
How I was like, man, like if you really lost your eye, like it's all good. I love you. Like, and I don't know. Oh, because she just had a baby. For those that don't know, me, my life. This is my wife, Vinay. Hi, welcome to the podcast.
Sure. Is that how we're doing the intro?
She's gonna be a main staple. But we were talking about, if you had a glass eye, like I'd still love you. I'd probably crack jokes because it's how I get through things.
I said, and what did I say? If I lost my hair?
Your hair, because she just had a baby and now her hormones are all over. Her hair's starting to fall out a little bit.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go bald with this one because it's just like it just keeps coming out every single time. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, there's another one.
And you said you'd wear a wig.
And I said I'd wear a wig, and you said no.
And I said no, don't wear a wig. Like it doesn't bother me.
You're like it's bald. I'll just slap it.
So we were I'm getting there, bro. We were having deep conversation about this of we'll just it's not gonna affect our relationship pretty much, and how. It's just weird how deep we were. I was so serious, probably because I was so tired.
I kind of wasn't. Like, I wasn't, but I wasn't.
Serious.
Because
you were joking
like,
and I wasn't.
Yeah.
And, like, when we're getting intimate, I'll just, like, slap that thing. Slap that bald head of yours.
You're so dumb.
Feel me?
That's so weird. That's so weird.
These are the conversations we have. Yeah. But, this is, for those of you that don't know, I am married. I have 2 children.
Two children.
I'm almost 30 years old. I am married to a beautiful 30-plus-year-old that
30 plus.
That
why you gotta put the
plus?
plus?
Have a glass eye and no hair.
Oh my god! No. Let's do this again. I want to hear your intro of me. Like, if it was like
a guest.
Yes.
Oh shoot! I do this pretty well. First of all, okay, let's start here. Welcome back to All Strings Attached. I have a banger of an episode for you today. First of all, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments. But today's guest is phenomenal. Powerhouse of a vocalist. One of the best worship leaders that I've ever heard, been around, that I get to worship with. She happens to be my wife. She's beautiful. Help me welcome Vinay, a.k.a. Velasquez Munoz Montiel.
Wow, you did the full name and everything. It's only Munoz now.
Yeah.
Legally.
That was just off the top of the dome what I could think of. She's a mom. She's a friend. Wife.
That's it.
That's all you are. She believes in the Lord.
Right.
She's saved, sanctified, and Holy Ghost filled. Mm-hmm. That's super deep, bro. This is how we normally talk to each other. We're pretty weird. Pretty clown show a lot of the time.
It's great. I love it. Your dad's always like, I don't understand.
I don't understand you guys' relationship.
But it's 10 years in the making.
10 years, bro.
Crazy.
Going on 8 years married.
Yeah.
This year. Mm-hmm. Going on 11 years together.
No, 8 years.
Married.
No, next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Coming up on 8 years.
You said this year, and I was like, this
2024. This next, yes.
Yes.
A couple months from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Going into our 8th year of marriage in 2024, going into our 11th year of a relationship in 2024.
Crazy. We've
That's
hit
wild.
double digits.
Yeah, and we got them 2 kids, bruh. We got them 2 kids.
Yeah, which is why we're doing it at 11 o'clock at night.
It is not.
I'm just kidding.
I'm very proud of us.
I'm trying to
'cause
make it sound like...
It was when we were living with my parents, we would do them like at 11, and I'm like,
oh, that's true.
Welcome back to the show.
Why did we do it so late, though? It's because you had to, like, set everything up and everything?
I had to set everything up, one, and because I didn't want to be a disturbance to
True.
people we were living with.
That's true.
It's like they're watching TV and like,
yeah, and it's like all loud in the back.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah. So now we're in our own spot, and we're getting the swing of things of being parents, even though you've handled everything tonight.
Yeah, but I wanted to say like, oh yeah, it's 11 o'clock at night because we're parents, and no,
It's 2 o'clock in the morning right now.
It's actually 8:42.
Yes.
We
Amen.
knocked them kids out. Said go to bed.
I just realized my computer's not charging, and I don't know why. Anyways, yeah.
Is something gonna die? Or
I
something
don't think so.
get corrupted or
We're
something?
good.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm really trying to, this is part of the podcast. I'm really trying to figure out, figure out the rhythm of this podcast, because I want it to be edited, but then I don't. I want it to be pretty seamless, and then maybe later on get a little bit more packaged with different things. But I just like if you're hanging out, it's like you're hanging out with us and you're just chatting.
Yeah. Well, you said that too. Like you were just saying before that you wanted it to like just breathe. Like.
Yeah. Like even the one I just did. I did one of the best podcasts, I feel like, in my opinion, with Clay. One of the last episodes you guys probably just saw. If you guys have been following, if you haven't, go watch it. And I said some things that when I was talking about Pops, like it really meant a lot to me because it's a big part of just what we're going through, a big part of our family, in period. And I asked him, I was like, hey, the video hasn't even been released to this point. If you're in real time, it hasn't even been released yet. But I sent it to my dad because it was a rough edit. Just sent it off. Let me know what you think, Pops. And he's like, bro, like best one you've ever done, like hands down. And I'm like, dang, because it felt that way. And I don't know, I could just feel like, I hate to talk spiritual. I really hate it. It sounds so cheesy.
We need to have another conversation about that, but go ahead.
Anyways, I felt like God was speaking, like he had my voice, but it was him talking. I felt that. Like when you say she's a worship leader, when you say that, when you're exhorting.
Yeah, so when I have...
You rub that sty eye, you rub it.
It's my other one. I'm just infecting my other one. It's fine. I'm just kidding. No, when I have done worship leading in any like capacity whatsoever, like obviously when you're like very in tune with everything that's going on and you just feel it like in the room, there's been times when I say things that I'm just like, where did that even like come from? Like, or like I feel like something's going on in the room or something, so I just speak to it and things like that. So, but then at the end of it, I won't even like, I know there's been times when you say something like, oh babe, that was so good what you said today, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I honestly don't even remember what I said. Like, to be honest.
I just blacked out.
I'm like, nah, that was like, so you said you kind of like.
Yeah, that was a good episode. And I told Clay that, and he's like, bro, don't cap. I'm like, bro, why am I going to cap? I'm not trying to gas you up. Like, that's how I genuinely felt. It was so easy to just talk to each other. And I feel like God used that to help somebody, whoever was going to watch that episode.
Well, that's even like how it is in conversations in general. When you talk to people, it's like sometimes it's like it's fluid and
Sometimes
it's easy
and sometimes it's like,
and you're just like, I don't even know where this conversation's going.
Vibe. Yeah. And it's weird because there are some people that you would think that you're going to click with and vibe with.
And then it doesn't.
And it just doesn't.
Yeah.
But then there's some people where I felt like me and Clay were going to connect because we're both very creative. He's an artist, bro. That dude is creative is not even enough of a word for him.
Yeah.
But
he's clay
molded. He was like, for me, I was a little, not intimidated, but like, oh, this dude's like an artist. I like to shoot a podcast. Like, I'm not anything, bro, So, did it cut out at all right now? Did
No.
you hear that? Okay, cool. But yeah, it was good. And I was saving this for the end of the podcast, but we've been talking about it. Like, I'm just leaning into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I sent Matt the video right now of this whole thing, he's like, dude, you're really going for it. I am. Like, I've got we're really being intentional these next couple months.
Yeah.
I'm investing in myself. I'm investing in content because I want to be serious and just like not have any regrets after, like, if we walk away from, all right, let's lean into content, and if for whatever reason I stop doing that, I just want to make sure I give it my best.
But like before that, like, let's back up.
Go. You look so cool with sunglasses.
Thanks. It's gonna be my vibe.
Such a diva, you feel me?
I'm such a diva. This is my working conditions. Like, going forward, like, this is how it's gonna be.
I really like the inner ears, by the way. It's so much better.
Why?
I don't know. It just feels more comfortable for me, and I can hear a lot better, and I can wear hats if I want, and it doesn't bother me. Anyways, go ahead.
I would say let's back up, and talk about how we got to that point, because a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks or months, actually, since like we moved here.
Yes, for those that don't know, we moved to Bakersfield,
Mm-hmm.
California. Before that, we were living in kind of the Fresno-ish area, kind of the valley, if anyone knows this area. And then before that, we moved from Washington State. We met in Washington State, moved back over here to California in 2017. And at the beginning, mid-2023, we moved over here. So we've been here for 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah. So one of our friends said ghetto Fresno.
Ghetto Fresno?
Bakersfield is ghetto Fresno.
Bakersfield is interesting.
Bakersfield is funny. Like, it's very, like, I don't even know. Like,
it's different.
It's very different. But even, like, what we talked about, like, it's, like, every area is just different, because it's, like, you could be in such a nice neighborhood, and then 2 seconds later, the next block, it could be, like, hella ghetto.
Like, where am I? Like, what's
and
going
just
on?
A bunch of homeless people, like, random, like,
Yeah.
and then it'll be, like, nice again. And it's, like, what is going on? But then there's still homeless people everywhere. There's so many homeless people here.
It's pretty crazy.
They probably kick them all out of Fresno and tell them to come over
Just
here.
bust them over here.
Yeah. So all that was happening, and then we moved here, but we also had a baby. Mm-hmm. She is now 3 months old. And for those of you that don't know too, we said that Malia was going to be our only one.
Yeah, so when we started even this whole brand of All Strings Attached, our first episode was like, yeah, we're done. We're not having any more kids.
We're not having any more.
That was a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
And there's another one here.
Yep.
Child.
And she's now 3 months and teething already. Like, it's crazy to me. She's such a happy baby, though. I love her. She's amazing. So we had basically transition after transition, and then events happening all around us. A house fire happened next to our place that we moved into. Literally, what was it? Like 2 months after? Yeah, like 2 months after we were, like, moved in here.
The fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like August when it happened.
Something like that.
And we had officially moved in here in like May. So like 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But we had Kaya, and she was only like a month old.
Yep.
So for those also that don't know, we also had a house fire that happened right next to us. It was in an abandoned house, and basically squatters got in there, lit it up, and everything, which is also another crazy story.
They were lighting it up, you feel me? They was going crazy in there.
And what's crazy about that event is that literally any situation or anything that we did that would have been like different, like we probably wouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation.
Bro, yeah.
Because that day, Aaron got up early to go to the gym, and then came back. And what's even crazier is that when you came back, because obviously like the windows were boarded up and everything, and you said that there was like demons that they drew.
Yeah, it got really sketchy.
Yeah.
It was like the 48 hours before that happened. It got weird.
Yeah.
And I found out actually today, the neighbor was telling me they were calling the police and code because it was getting even more wild. They felt it too. So they called, and like everyone was like scrambling to get out, and everyone dipped out of that place. And there was just that one guy that was just around, and he looked super off. But go ahead.
Yeah. So then when you came back, like that's when you saw like those demon faces that were like drawn on the house and everything. And that day, because again, Kaya was only a month old. So I was still like trying to figure out routine, and like obviously she kept waking up in the middle of the night and everything. So I told Aaron if he could feed Kaya and everything, so I could sleep a little longer. And then sure enough, he's in his office, he's working, like doing things, and he has the baby in here. And what was it? You just heard like crackling or something,
so
right?
I fed the baby, and then Malia was up, so I got her some cereal or something. And I actually had Kaya and Malia in the living room, and I wasn't here working. And I just kept hearing stuff, so I checked the camera. This dude was like doing something. Then I heard something else, like a crack. Or I was like, this dude breaking into my car now? Like, what's good? And so I look, and I've told the story before. Like, I thought the camera had fallen because it was just white. And then I realized, I was like, oh, that's smoke. And I literally jumped up. You were asleep. I don't even remember. Like, I don't know if I grabbed Kaya.
I think you did, because she was already in the living room. And you said that she was in here with you. So I was asleep, and then you just yell like, V, get up. And I'm thinking like something's wrong with the baby, something's wrong with the girls, like something happened or whatever. And I was like, what's happening? And you're like, the house next door, it's on fire. And I'm like, what? And literally by the time like I got up and everything and got the girls and stuff, again, Kaya's only a month old, like she's super little. And I'm trying to get out the door, but we're also trying to call 911. You were trying to call 911. You open the door, and literally you can't even see like to the street. Like you couldn't even see outside
crazy.
of the like
you
to
couldn't
the car,
see nothing,
because it was just like so much smoke.
Yeah.
And I have the baby in my arms. We literally don't have any time to grab like anything.
Yeah.
And
what was like your first thought once you like woke up? And I said, what did I say? Like, what was your first thoughts? I said get up, obviously.
Yeah, you said get up, but I didn't know what was going on. I thought you were just telling me like, V, get up, like something happened.
Did I say it was on fire?
No, that's what I said. I said like, what's going on? Because I thought it was the baby, like something happened to the baby. Because that was also like a little bit before when she was breathing like funny. And we had to take her to like the emergency room and all that. So then after that, I thought it was something with that. And so I was thinking like, did she stop breathing? Like something happened with her or something. And then that's when you said after, like, no, the house next door, it's on fire. And I was like, what? And you were like, I don't remember what you were doing, but I remember you walked past me and you were trying to like figure things out or something. And then I'm like, where are the girls? You're like, they're over here in the living room. And since I was asleep, of course, I had no pants on.
Yeah.
So then I'm having to like scramble around, and I happen to remember that I left some like right next to the bed. So I grab my pants, put them on, and I run out there, and I'm like grabbing the baby. And I go get her, pick her up, and again, we're just like scrambling to get everything together, or at least the girls together, because Malia, of course, has no idea what's going on because we're not trying to freak her out.
No, she still got scared.
She got scared when we opened the door, and she saw the smoke, and she freaked out. And I said, Malia, come on, because I'm trying to keep calm and not freak out, to be like, bro, let's go. Like, there's a fire or anything. And I'm trying to keep calm, not trying to freak her out. And so I have the baby in my arms, and I'm like, Malia, luckily she had some shoes next to the door. And I'm like, Malia, get your shoes on. We have to go, because I can't pick her up since I have the baby in my arms already. You were on the phone with 911. And
I don't think I was.
You were.
Was I?
Yes. You were on the phone with 911 because you didn't realize what I was doing, because I was trying to get her shoes on, but she's crying and she's freaking out. I was like, Malia, look at me. Like, I need you to calm down. Put your shoes on. We need to go. And then when you realized that she was like crying and stuff, you were still on the phone, but then you just came over, you picked her up, and then you just walked out. You didn't care about the shoes or anything. You just like took her out.
Yeah.
And then, but my thing too was like, this baby's a month old, and I'm like, I can't just walk out there with so much smoke blowing towards us. I'm like, I need to turn around, find a blanket or something to cover her so it doesn't like hit her so much or whatever. So I'm literally like turning around, trying to find like a swaddle blanket, something to just cover her so I can run out. And luckily I saw her diaper bag too, and I just grabbed her diaper bag and then I covered her and I just ran out. And I actually had went, so our house is like, you go one way, it goes to our Jeep, and you goes the other way, it goes to like the other side of the building or whatever. But you had told me we're going to go into the car so we could get the car out because the house was like where the car was at.
Yeah.
That was in flames. And so I went towards the Jeep and I was like, where'd this guy go? Like, I didn't even see you or anything because I was like looking for the blinker. So I didn't even know which way you went. So I'm thinking you went to the car, and I'm like, I don't see you. I'm like, I'm thinking you're getting Malia in her car seat or something. And I'm like, I don't see you. I'm like, where'd this guy go? So then I'm like, I just ran the other way. And then I realized you were already across the street. And then it was funny because then after that too, you were just like, where the hell did you go? What are you doing?
Yeah, I thought you were behind me the whole time.
Yeah. And I wasn't, obviously. So I like literally grabbed her diaper bag trying to think of like what was even in there. Cause I like, obviously we had, I think we had like church the day before or something like that.
It was like a Monday, I think.
Yeah. So, I was like, so hopefully I have like something in there for her to like diapers or something to at least take and just like run out with or whatever. And so, yeah, so I met you across the street and you're like, what the heck are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like pissed at me. And then you literally ran back into the house because you were like, I need to get my camera at least because obviously that's like your livelihood or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you also went to go move our car because the house was on fire, but it was literally
that was stupid
next to our car.
But I mean, it was stupid because I didn't realize the fire was real close.
It was really close. Like in a matter of like 5 minutes, it was so high and so much smoke. And that's what kind of just was like weird to me, the fact that it was so crazy and nobody came to say anything. Like out of everybody that was around here, like nobody noticed.
People were just driving by.
People just drove by.
There were a couple people that, when I went back, like there was a guy that, like literally was.
That stopped in like this.
Literally walked in our house to try to see if everyone was out.
Yeah, like, but that was like after the fact. But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, the fact that it was like so inflamed, like the house. Because by the time we got out, it was literally already hitting the back of the house, and it was like literally hitting the camera and everything, melting everything.
The whole thing got melted back there. Yeah.
And so, but again, it wasn't until you noticed that it was like crazy.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just like, nobody noticed that it was starting to smoke, like some small fire, like something, and then literally wasn't until you noticed something that it like, we ran out or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then that's when everybody else like was like, hey, is anyone else in there? Blah, blah, blah. And then literally the neighbor upstairs, you had to yell for her when you came back in the house.
She's like, I didn't know what was going on. I thought like I left the oven on. And she's like, she went to check, and then she heard me yell.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's when I knew it was serious.
Yeah.
So she got out.
And then even the neighbors on the other side too, because there's only like 3 apartments here, and then they were also asleep too. So like literally, if you would have gone to the gym later, or like I just kept sleeping after I fed Kai or something, like it would have been really bad.
Yeah, if I wouldn't have been here, it could have been interesting.
Yeah,
I would have felt. I don't know how I would have felt. I would have felt nasty.
And then the fact that I wouldn't even be able to like call you or anything, because I literally left my phone in the bed because I was just like worried about my girls. I'm like, where are they at?
Yeah,
let me get them.
Phone,
and
I think I grabbed it.
Because you were calling.
911.
Yeah.
And then I think I called my mom.
Yeah, which after hindsight, I was like, yeah, that probably wasn't the best person to first call.
Why?
Because your mom panics right away.
I'm trying to remember why I called her.
I told you to call her because of our insurance.
Oh.
because our renter's insurance.
Yeah, because I was like, we're probably about to lose everything.
Yeah,
right
because literally, if the firefighters like showed up like even 2 minutes after,
I
it
thought
would
we
have
lost
been
everything. That
oh,
was
for
my.
sure.
I was like, we just lost it all.
Literally, this window right here, and literally in this office, it broke because of how hot everything got. Our power went out. The security camera that was on this side melted off. Was on the floor.
The whole side of the roof
The
is still charred.
Yeah. And
They
melted
stopped
the
it in time.
blinds,
Yeah.
everything. Like they,
Luckily, that was it.
yeah. But the next door got it a little bit more worse.
The flames were literally smashing theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was also because it was a big tree in that
The tree
in the
caught
back.
fire.
Yeah. And then it just kept hitting that, and it was windy that day. But yeah, so
Crazy.
after that, we had to stay in a hotel for like a week.
God, that feels like forever ago.
And
God.
but it was just like so like fast. And then we talked about this too, is the fact that we didn't even really like deal with what happened.
No.
Because it was like just trying to make sure that the girls were good. Like obviously like no smoke inhalation was happening, like all that stuff. And then like after we like kind of not even relaxed, but we were just like in the hotel is when we were like, okay, like what happened kind of thing, you know?
Still didn't.
You didn't actually, because you were still trying to figure out work and like things like that and our finances and all that. And I remember I told you I like woke up at like 2 a.m. one night to feed Kaya, and I was like just sitting there, and just randomly I got like almost like a panic attack. Like I had to run and I had to like do something, because I just remember like seeing the smoke and everything else and like kind of like freaking out and being woken up and
Yeah.
you know, get out and all this stuff. And then we talked about that too, where we said, we never thought we would be in a situation.
Yeah. I never thought I would be where if you didn't act, your family's in danger.
Literally.
If you didn't make it, if you didn't, yeah, just that position to where if you didn't, that stupid bug is pissing me off. If you didn't move or you didn't respond, your family could be hurt.
Yeah.
That's a weird position to be in.
Yeah, because like you talk about it too, and then like to actually be in it, and you always say about like people have always said like, oh, I would react like this, and I would probably do this, and I'd do that, and then I'm like, when it's actually happening, it's such a different,
Yeah.
such a different reaction, you know, and so even dealing with all of that, like the post traumatic like stuff that happened after, it was just like crazy.
Yeah.
And I remember even talking to you, and I'm like, you need to take like a day, because you were just like, you just kept going and going and going, and I was like, you're not even like processing like anything that happened.
Yeah. That was a wild time. Yeah, even thinking about it, I'm like, bro, how did you even? I was busting my butt, and I was talking to Lacey and Ashley about this. I was like, yo, the last 3 months whooped my butt. I'm really trying not to say bad words right now. I got jacked up, and even that time. Okay, we're in a hotel now, and I'm still like grinding until 11, 12 o'clock at night, trying to make ends meet, because we were still trying to get situated after the baby got here, and then transition of work, and then we didn't get bonding benefits that we were relying on to pay bills, and then that just stacked up. So I had all of that in my head of like, I can't stop, go, look for more, doing things for other creatives, working for other people. And yeah, it drowned me, beat the crap out of me for sure.
And that's why I told you too, I was like, you haven't even processed anything that's happened.
And then my response was, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get to do that. If I don't move right now, we have no food tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And
which even then I felt like that kind of put you even more into a hole.
For sure.
Because you didn't even like take the time for that. But even like in hindsight, I'm like, I understand that. But at the same time, it was like you relied so much on you trying to make it for yourself, obviously.
Okay, good now. Yeah.
And that was even like something that we talked about too, because it was just like you trying to make it sure that you were the one to do it, and this and this and that, and people were like, hey, do you guys need help, blah blah blah, and you're like, no, we got it, blah blah blah, and it was like all this stuff. And I was like, you need to like process, like you literally went through like a traumatic experience and you're not even like dealing with it. To when we came back to our house, it was like any noise that you heard that was like an alarm or something, you were like,
Yeah.
I have to like get up, I have to check or whatever it is, because
Yeah.
you were just like,
I didn't have peace
yeah.
because, one, I was completely out of, not out of line, but like out of alignment, I guess, with our spiritual lives. But just everything else that we were going through, of like, and everything in my head that I was trying to handle on my own, was just, I was drowning mentally, and then that didn't help. And I didn't feel like I wasn't allowed to process. I wasn't allowed to feel that or go through that.
Why do you think that though?
I
Like,
don't
why
know.
do you feel like you weren't allowed?
I think because
as a dad, or like one that you need to provide, or
I think all of it. I think as a dad, as a husband, a protector, I was like, no, make sure your people are good. Make sure your daughters are okay. Your wife is safe. They're got somewhere to sleep, eat. Make sure they're good. And then go get some money so that you can provide for them. Yeah. So it was just all of that, I think. And then just with the workload that I had at the time, because I'm like, yo, we had to come out here and take a leap of faith and like trust God, which we'll get into that, because I wasn't trusting God at all. Zero. And trying to make it happen, because I knew like, yo, this is what we need, and I'm not bringing that in. Because we used to have 2 incomes, and now it's just me trying to do everything. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, to answer your question, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was allowed to, just because of everything else that was going on, and I didn't have time for that. I'm like, yo, that's gonna have to wait, but it ended up drowning me and kicking my butt anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's even like why we kind of wanted to talk about this too, because it's like, I feel like you were in a dark space for a second.
Very.
And I feel like I was starting to get there too. Because again, and then again too, like we wanted to talk about this too, because I've always been like a firm believer of like your testimony is a great story to tell other people, because other people relate and other people may be going through the same situation.
Yeah.
And I'm getting emotional. This is why I wear sunglasses. And when we don't talk about these things, I feel like it's something that the enemy doesn't want us to do, because one, he makes you probably think like, oh, like nobody wants to hear it, like it's dumb. But in reality, it's like when other people relate and other people like are like, oh, I was in the same boat as you, or I am in the same boat as you. And that was something too that was like really moving for me, because when we did talk to people that they're like, oh, we went through the same thing. But no to trusting God. And so even like you said, it was like a big test of our faith, for sure. And that's something that for us that I've always been the strong one with faith and trusting. And when everything happened all at the same time, and we've talked about this too, and it was the move, having the baby, postpartum, the fire, our finances were trash.
Yeah.
We had negatives in our bank account.
Yeah.
We had no money for anything. Like, no money to get food, formula for the baby. And we were just like, what are we doing? And one thing I told you too, that it was like, I have never lost faith. And I felt like that was another test for me, because I never lost faith when it came to things for myself. But I felt like it was another test for me, because now it was for my girls. And it was like, I felt like God said, you've always had faith for yourself and for you and your husband and everything else. But it was like, you have to trust me in everything else too, meaning your girls too. Because now it was something that I couldn't provide for them. And I couldn't provide their food for them or anything else. And it was like, now it's affecting them. So now I'm like, what are we doing? What is happening? And now I'm spiraling and losing faith and not trusting God and everything else. And almost feeling like anger of like, what are we doing? Why are we here? And why did we uproot our family and all these things? And it was just like, what is happening? You know?
Mm.
And, but it was like through that too, that we just became very intentional.
We had to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, going back to the faith portion, one thing that my dad always tried to emphasize to me, especially when it comes to your household and being married, and he's always tried to stress it to me, of be the man of your, if you're the man of your household. This comes back to foundational, if you're a foundational believer in Jesus' faith, right? These are major pieces. But one of the things he always said was, you need to be the spiritual driver of the house as a man. And he's like, do not be the weak link to where now V has to drag you. And that's something that's always been in my head. Because as the leader of my home, I also want to be the spiritual leader of my home. And I wasn't. I've never been. Yeah. Because I've gone through my own issues. I have my own issues that I deal with as far as faith and all that. And I've grown up in this thing. Say what you want. I really don't care. I'm working through my own thing. I'm good. She happy with me. My parents are happy with me. I'm chilling. Say what you want about me. Cool. I've never had real faith. Mm-hmm. I have leached onto my parents' faith. I've leached onto my wife's faith. I have never had faith for myself. Yeah. The one thing I've always had faith in is me. In what I can do and what I can accomplish. I've had a level of faith in me. And I've had always a level of faith in the amount of money that I had and that I was able to bring in. So we come from a place of where, coming from a job, coming from 2 incomes, to where my faith was in my money. My security, my confidence came from the amount of money I had. Yeah. Because I worked my ass off to get there. Mm-hmm. So sorry. This is just how I speak. I worked hard to get there. And then I come to this place to where I knew it was going to be a challenge. I didn't know how fast it was going to be a challenge. We anticipated something happening. This happening, challenges coming months down the road. We didn't anticipate it being month 2 or 3 of us being here. So my faith in money is taken because I don't have it. And it's like God challenged me and slapped me in the face of like, what are you going to have faith in now? You have negative $800 in the bank. Being transparent, we had negative $800 in the bank with no formula, with no food, with other bills already late and collectors calling us, phone going crazy, trying to figure something out. Like, I don't know what else to do. I've been taking jobs here, and there. and it's just not adding up.
Yeah.
Because we came from this space to where now God was saying, I don't like saying that because he might not have been saying that specifically, but the challenge to me was, you can't have your faith in money anymore, or because you are trying and trying,
Yeah.
and you're in a hole, you're broken, and what has that gotten you? It shattered my confidence. It shattered all that in me, right? Led me down a really dark path over the next month or two, just trying to process and figure all that out. But I think after, this is probably 2 months ago now, 2 months ago, so some things started balancing out a little bit. And you can even attribute that to, your life kind of evened out just a tad, right? And yeah, sure, I think it did. But I think it also was a major punch in the face for something we needed to experience and go through.
Yeah.
Because I think it brought us the closest we've ever been together.
Yeah.
As far as our relationship, communicating, and sure, we're still working on everything all the time, but it brought us closer to be like, bro, we really, all we got,
Yeah.
me and you, is it.
Yeah.
And being okay with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've always been at a decent level of understanding of, if it's just me and you, it's just me and you. But when all you have is literally, we don't got nothing, V.
Yeah.
But we're here. You know? We got to figure out how we're going to take care of these girls. And I think we got to that point and have had some major things, like, because I'm a dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always chasing something. I'm always dreaming of the next best idea, and from always a good place,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to provide for my family, and I'm a creative, and I just love it. I just love it, Dad.
I just love candy.
But I can't speak for you. Maybe you speak for yourself in a second, but I had to get to the end of me.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be broken a little bit, mentally, spiritually, physically. I'm just busted up right now. I'm not gonna front.
You're dumb.
I'm physically busted right now. But to get to a place to where I'm literally sitting in my car, or I'm in the shower, or I'm just sitting, and I'm like, God, like, what the hell, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I move back to where I came from? Do we move somewhere else? Is this not the place? These are all real questions. And if you're watching this, like, how does this apply to me? It might not at all.
But even that, like how you were saying, like, that's the other thing too, that people don't understand, that people think that you can't sit there and be like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah. And
have like a real conversation with God and just being like, bro, yeah, I'm a little angry right now. This and this and this happened. My finances are crap. Our house almost burnt down. We have no idea how we're going to get gas. And
oh God, yeah.
like, we have no idea how we're going to get food, and everything else is hitting us, calling us, and everything. And it's just like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And people think, like, we can't talk like that. But if he's your best friend, like, that's how I'm talking to my best friend. Bruh, I talk to you like that.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
We're like, what happened to this, and that, and the other?
Mm-hmm.
And and that's why I told you too, like, I felt like I was starting to spiral in that certain area because of the fact that, again, whenever it came to me, I didn't care what happened to me, what happened to you. Obviously, I do care about you, but like in a different way. But
yeah,
when it came to my girls, I was like, what is happening? But it also made me think about every time that I'm like, You said you would surrender everything. You said you would give me everything. You said you would give me your life. So why are you not putting your faith in me to provide for them? And provide for your family, instead of you thinking that you're going to be the one to provide for them. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I think we got to a place where after all that, after things kind of like balanced a little bit, I stopped chasing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I really pulled back on much of everything. Right? I really try to evaluate is content for me, chasing the content world. It's a nasty world. It's a crazy fast world. And being almost 30 years old, wife and kids, I'm like, I don't know that I got that chase and hustle in me like that.
Like you used to.
Like if I was 20, like, all right, cool. Maybe we only brought in $1,000 this month. We're chilling. Awesome. We'll make some. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I got the number that I have to bring in, and that I can't rely on. We're not gonna work together with you anymore, or that kind of stuff. Like people pulling contracts or whatever. And but it really brought me to the point. My point being, pulled back a lot, and we are being very intentional to seek God, to sit in his presence like we used to when we first got together, to really worship, just to read, to get closer, to have this relationship with God again that I haven't had in a long time.
Yeah.
Because I can't start asking God, like, all right, what do you want me to do here? Like, where are we going next? Me and Clay talked about it. Like, if he told you in clear detail, which I want to know all the time, if he told me, would I actually even, I'd mess it all up, But I'm like, that's what he asks us to do, is have faith.
Yeah.
It literally says in the Bible that people use this quote all the time: walk by faith, not by sight.
Yeah.
Literally says that. So I keep asking, no, I need the sight of step. I need it. Where am I going? Give me the vision. Is it Bakersfield? Is it back in Fresno?
Yeah.
Is it Washington? Like, I need to know God.
Yeah. And I remember even just as you said that right now, when we were talking about it, and because I got to the point where I was just like, no, I just need to get everything that was happening and everything. I remember just telling you, like, we need to just get back to our roots. Worship, prayer, like all those things that we've always talked about, but we've never been intentional of doing.
No.
But I remember we were having that conversation too, and you were saying the exact same thing about, like, I just want him to, like, just show me what needs to happen and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, or just sit down, do prayer, and just ask these questions like God. Or you said doing a vision for our family and all that. And you're like, I just want like these questions answered and blah, blah, blah. And I remember it was when we were driving home, and I told you, but are you ready to hear the answer? Because I remember I told you that I see it as like, God, I want you to answer these questions for me. Like, you have a paper in your hand, you have your questions, and I'm going to give these to you, and I want you to answer this, and I'm letting it go so you can, like, take it. But then he's like, all right, let me have it. But you're like, yeah, but no, like, yeah, here, take it. And he's like, all right, give it to me, but you're still, like, holding on to it. Because I remember telling you, I was like, you need to let it go. You need to release it all. And because as you've said before, like, you're very practical, like, let go of what? Let go of my cameras, let go of my computer. Like, you're thinking tangible things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, let go of your control.
Mike Todd says something. He says, rip up your list.
Mm-hmm.
So like, they reminded me of that. I'm like, I have this list of questions, or I'm giving God, and I almost see it in the sense of like, I have this list, and you're saying I don't want to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to give it to him, but I don't. Like, almost like I'm scared of the answers that I'm going to get.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I really, do I want you to answer it? Yes, but I don't know. So we're not, long story short, very long story short. This is what this podcast, I am so grateful for it because.
Long story long.
Long story long, I am not chasing algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
I am not chasing anything. I am living my life on camera.
Yeah.
In the way that we enjoy. We love talking. I love being extra with stuff. I love having conversations with people. And I'm going to tell you straight up what's going on. I'm going to tell you that we got negative 800 in the bank. Right now we're doing okay. There's a couple $10 in there.
That's the other side that we could talk about too, but
yeah. This is what this is going to be. Mm-hmm. Very transparent, and you're in the room with us as we talk. But point being, we're being intentional right now. We are seeking God. I am still praying for a vision for my family. Mm-hmm. Right?
But that's even what we said too, because at the same time, even though we have these questions, we're also being intentional of just seeking him just to seek him, regardless of any agenda.
Yeah.
Regardless of the questions that we have, regardless of any situations that are going on around us, that God, I'm just coming to you just to seek you, and that's it.
Yeah.
Just to be with you, and that's it.
He's just, and the questions will be answered. Mm-hmm. Because we're taking a step at a time, and I'm trying to get my brain to understand. I'm not looking for this giant light to go on and just show the whole road.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to come to the understanding that it's just a light at my feet, right, and a guide. So for every step, all right, cool. Mm-hmm. We chilling. Okay, we chilling.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to just take those steps.
He's like, don't step right there. Just step right there.
I'm not asking for anything.
Yeah.
Just keep my babies safe, please. Mm-hmm. Continue to protect them and give them health, and my wife. And I've never cared what happens to me, ever.
I've cared.
You just said you didn't. At the end of the day, I just want to be a good dude and try to be a good husband and dad. And I'm a jacked up dude. I'm super messed up. But I love my family. And I love God. And I know the legacy that I have. And the decisions people have made to get me here. And I'm just trying to honor all that. And it's hard. I said this the other day too. It's hard to be Christlike when that's like your number one thing that you're just trying to strive to be. It's tough. And I'm trying. Somebody told me the other day too that they can see there's something different in me. And I'm like, whatever, bro. Like, I'm trying, but you don't gotta gas me up or anything. But I'm genuinely like, I don't know. I'm just a dude, man. And even like, it comes to the content, like I love creating stuff. But I made another video the other day that I was like, I'm not an authority on anything. I'm no expert. I'm not going to pretend to be. I'm not going to make content trying to act like I'm this authority or this coach. Bro, I'm just a broken, beat down, jacked up dude that enjoys this stuff.
Yeah.
And if people watch, if it's 5 to 10 people that watch, if it's just my family that watches my stuff to keep encouraged, like my dad told me today, like, you were preaching to me. If that's what I make freaking content for, dope. Like, God, please help me keep my mind fixed on that.
Yeah.
You make content for people, period. It might be 1, 2, 3, or 4 people.
Yeah.
Keep going. And
even then, that was even something like, it was crazy to me. I don't know if it's crazy to you, but even when we started being more intentional in prayer and things like that, before that, you were asking those questions. What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be at? Mm-hmm. Where am I, like, what am I doing with this camera stuff? Like, all these things. And, like, why did I start all this if it wasn't if it wasn't going to be for anything? And when we started being more intentional and prayer and all those things, it was like, you got that clarity.
I mean, even now, like, even you saying that's crazy, because I was asking, and it's like now I had verbalized, and even doing this the last, like, I feel a momentum. Mm-hmm. When Matt says, bro, you're doing it, you're going for it. It's like there's a clearer understanding already. Because 2 months ago I was asking, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
And even seeing Preacher's Hour a couple weeks ago and seeing Jeff and him telling me and Phil telling me, like, bro, with this lane needs your voice. Mm-hmm. You need to be in this space. And I'm so hard on myself because biblically, I'm illiterate. Mm-hmm. Biblically. Yeah, I'm a pastor's kid, whatever. But it was never like a spiritual discipline to, like, be in my word. And I wish it was, just because I wish I had a little more foundation. But I know Jesus, and I understand different perspectives now that I've been through a little bit of life. Yeah. But that was one of the things that always held me back from even getting back in this space. Like, how can you talk about faith and Jesus and all this stuff when you don't even know theology or whatever? I'm not going to out-theology anybody, but I'm going to out-love you. Mm-hmm. That's my goal. I love Jesus, and I'm always going to point. The whole freaking show is based around all strings attached.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. And, yeah, like, that's what I was saying. Like, it's shocking. Not even shocking. It's like, God just does it, bruh.
He does.
He is a miracle worker.
Don't be anxious about anything.
No. And that's even, like, why I said that, too. Like, it was more crazy to me that I was like, you stopped chasing. You stopped trying to go in. You stopped trying to go find it for yourself. And you stopped trying to figure it out all on your own. That you literally just did it.
Literally, I thought I was working for people, but I'm like, I thought I wanted this. But it still was taking me away from spending time with God and you.
But even that, of like, you did chase it, you had a taste of it, but you figured out it wasn't for you.
Yeah. It's not what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's like a discernment thing either. Like my spirit, like, no, dude, that's not it. Mm-hmm. But
it also even came with questions of, like, how we talked too about vision and things like that, and we were doing some devotionals, and I read the one of David, and I asked you, I'm like, so what if the vision that you've had or the things that you're wanting to create wasn't for you? And it was for the girls.
Yeah, we talked about that about Moses. Mm-hmm. And how Clay was saying, do you think Moses would have went through guiding these people if he knew that the promised land that he was shown, or the vision that he was given by God, he wasn't going to see it? Do you think he would have went through with it? And with that in mind of like, all strings are attached to that, man. It's like,
well, and that's why I said, because
it's not an easy answer.
Yeah. And because the devotional that I read was about David.
Yeah.
And he wanted to create a temple for worship. And God said, no, it's not for you. It's for your kids to do. And he was like, but you gave me that vision. He's like, yeah. But it's for your kids. But like, if he was the one to be selfish and be the one like, no, I'm going to go ahead and just do it anyways, and like trying to do it for himself, like, I don't think God would have honored it.
Probably not. It's like those people that make plans and then ask God to bless it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not,
and
surrender
then,
your plan, bro.
And that was even the other conversation that we had of like you releasing that dream, or maybe the dream that you thought that you wanted to have, of letting that go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But all that to say.
My goodness. Yeah, I'm just grateful.
I'm very grateful.
I'm grateful because I feel like this would have took a lot of people out. Like their relationships. And all it did was make us closer.
Yeah.
And it's not to say things aren't hard still. Things are still hard, and there's still decisions and questions that we have and things we're trying to figure out. I think that's okay. That's healthy. Everyone has things they're trying to figure out. Everyone's going through life. But the anxiety for me is gone. And I'm like, all right, God, like, I'm going to do everything that I'm doing right now to the best that I can. I'm going to trust you. I'm not making any emotional decisions. Our family loves each other. We're all healthy-ish with,
This is also my third sty that I've had in the last 2 weeks, so I don't know what the heck is going on.
Dirty eyes.
Apparently.
But
all that to say, now fast forward to now.
Yeah.
Going back to where you were saying in the beginning. Now you're living in your content or investing in you.
Yeah, so I hope you guys, whoever's watching this, enjoys just kind of feeling like they're in the room with us. But I am investing in my content. Like, I'm really trying to do this at the best that I know that I can. And people are saying things like, that's awesome, bro. Like, go for it, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I'm really just trying to stay consistent. And I want to have more conversations with people to not only keep me growing, accountable, but it also keeps me connected to other people that are really like-minded. And I kept going back and forth, like, what do I want this podcast to be? I'm like, no, bro, like your goal and your vision that you received when you started creative culture was always talk to Christian creatives. Like, so many times, like, I want to start, but like the worldly or the people like actually involved in culture are better. Like, but I'm like something keeps telling me like, that's not you, dude. Like, yeah, you're a little out of pocket as a Christian sometimes. Yeah. You're a busted up dude that curses a little bit and you say some crazy stuff that most Christians don't say. But that's not you.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I was called to make a difference in this space. I know that. I never knew like at what level. Like, I knew as a youth leader, young adults leader, in ministry as a worship leader, like, I've been in this thing, and I feel like I've always carried some sort of influence wherever we go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, invest in yourself here. Be consistent. Focus on one thing. Don't spread yourself out on a million things. Honor what God has given you as far as work and everything now. Do it to the best of your ability. Love your family. And step by step. Mm-hmm. I can manage that.
100%.
100%.
I love you. And I'm proud of you. All the time.
Why is it such an emotional episode, bro? God, I've never cried on a podcast before.
I know.
That was tough. I'm so sorry. I just lost like 10 subscribers just from that.
Dumb. See, that's the stuff that I don't understand. That's the stuff that I've always told you. You need to be vulnerable. Not all that fluff.
No, I feel like I have been. It's like, I don't want to bring up Chandler Bing right now.
Chandler Bing.
Rest in peace, Matthew Perry. I hope you know Jesus.
I'm so sad.
I know.
That was so, like, you literally was like, oh, and I was like, what?
I thought it was fake.
Like the freaking fire.
Yeah, I thought it was fake, but and then I looked at a couple of different sources and I'm like, no. There are a few deaths that I told you yesterday that hit me like that.
You said 3, right? Yeah. It was,
So the other two were worse because they were the people I looked up to. Obviously, Kobe. Obviously. Mm-hmm. Eddie Guerrero, for those wrestling fans. Eddie Guerrero I looked up to that dude because he was a Mexican. And I'm like, there not a lot of, there wasn't a lot of Mexicans to look up to, like, that were, like, elevated like that. So it was Eddie, it was Kobe, and then that one, quite on that level, but that big. Yeah. Like, people will say Michael Jackson, but I'm like, Michael Jackson wasn't, for me, he was like 80s and 90s. Yeah. And I'm a young cat-ish. So, yeah. But the reason why I bring that up, because emotional, right? Mm-hmm. It's like when he read that book in Friends, and then he just opened, he's like, I feel like that's me right now, bro. I was talking to Matt earlier, and me and him have conversations because we're equal level, same age, and similar struggles. And I got emotional freaking just talking to him. I'm like, what the heck is going on, bro? When are we open here?
You're like, it's just
I can't stop it.
Oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah, that is very sad.
Yeah. I told you my 2 was, what was the other one? Oh, Bob Saget for me. Mm-hmm. That one made me sad. And then Matthew Perry. The other one that I just remembered too was Vicente Fernandez was a Mexican.
I remember that one. Yeah.
That one was sad.
Is any of them like shook you though? Like Kobe shook me. Eddie Guerrero shook me.
I think the Matthew Perry one did. Like the story that I saw earlier when it was like, goodbye, Chandler Bing. I was like, is Chandler Bing no more?
Oh, that's so sad.
That one I was like, why am I crying?
Yeah. I hope they make like a really cool tribute to him.
I think
like Warner Brothers or whoever made the show.
Probably. But I'm like, I literally will watch that show every single day. Like,
the ratings just went.
Oh, 100%. But I literally watch it. Like, I'll watch it when it's on TV. Like, I'll watch it just to have it, like, on the background. Like, I freaking love that show. Like, every time I'm like, I'm watching Friends again. She's like, I already text my friend, and she's like, again? I'm like, I freaking love that show. It's so funny.
It's a great show.
Chandler is literally me because I crack jokes and just say sarcastic stuff all the time.
Humor to get through pain.
Yes, exactly.
Glass eye girl.
Exactly.
Can't wait to get a hold of that bald head.
Oh, God, stop.
I think we're going to wrap this one up, though.
Yeah.
Do you have any final?
You don't wear shoes again. You need to apologize to your dad.
I'm so sorry, Pops. I hope you didn't see any of the bottom portion. Like I'm wearing some short shorts right now.
I know. Sorry. I like halfway, like not even halfway, like literally like 5 minutes ago, I was like, those shorts. I was like, I heard you talking, but at the same time, I was looking at your shorts. I was like, your shorts are very
I'm
short
crying
right
and you're looking at my shorts. Like, damn, his shorts are short. I hope I'm not going to, you're going to crop it. Oh, I'm not going to crop it. That's a wide angle, bro.
Shoot.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I really don't care that.
Just blur it out.
Just blur this whole area.
Pixelate it.
Just looks like I'm naked on the bottom. You're going to wake up our kids, bro.
Sorry. That's funny.
Anyways, as Malia would say, like and subscribe. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I think Guy's awake.
It's time to go. We love you guys. Peace.
Bye.